What's up, entrepreneurs? Welcome back to Behind the Brains. I'm back with a very debateful topic which I think is really worth considering and knowing what its impact will be on the global economy. And if you are an American or a Chinese, I think this will definitely affect you a lot. And I must tell you before starting into this that today's episode may be hard for some of the folks to digest, but this really needs to be told here in this podcast episode. I'm talking about America versus China, not in terms of military, not in terms of tourism, not in terms of sports, or neither even the lifestyle, but something which is the superpower here. I think you guessed it right, the economy. Both of these countries are major economic contributors, even the US and the China. United States contributes almost one-fourth of the total global economy with a 23.6% of contribution, and on the other hand, there's China, which contributes 15.5%, and this is from the data that was released recently in March. So no doubt, both of them are the major contributors of the economy, but to also note that the US has a nominal GDP of $21.44 trillion and the GDP based on PPP, which is purchasing power parity, is also $21.44 trillion. And on the other hand, there's China with a nominal GDP of $14.14 trillion, which is almost $7 trillion far from the United States. But to talk about that GDP based on purchasing power parity, it's $27.31 trillion, which is really exciting. And that's also a simple logic because China is almost thrice as populated as the United States. So it's pretty simple to guess that more people means more consumption. Where United States with a population of around 300 million people consumes around $21 trillion, and China with a population of 1.3 billion people consumes just $27 trillion, which really means that China is not giving their people much money because it doesn't want them to have much purchasing power and wants to keep the control over the people and the businesses just like it always does. Also to mention that both of these countries are blaming each other for this pandemic outbreak, where China says that it was given to them by the US military and Trump claims that it was spread due to China's inability of spreading the word, warning the world about the COVID-19 virus and stopping it from spreading. But do you think China, world's second largest economy, can overtake United States of America, which is already $7 trillion ahead of them? Well, I think it can, and definitely in no time it would even turn to a superpower too. But why do I say this? And if I'm right, then how would they become this superpower economy, crushing it over the United States? And it's not just me who thinks it, but also the Iron Man, Elon Musk, says that the Chinese economy is going to be probably at least twice as big as the United States economy. Maybe 3 times, but at least twice. And he also added that if America is not innovative enough, then they would lose it to China. So stay tuned till the end and you'll know why and how China can overtake the United States as the world's number one economy, and how the global economy will come more on the Asian side rather than being on the North American side. First of all, the trade war that is happening between the United States and China for almost 2 years now is never settling, because of which the consequences would be higher for America. But this trade war was almost at the edge of settlement, where US and China both considered a 3-phase deal where at the end both of them would try to come to a conclusion and help out each other rather than fighting. But to be honest, that's not possible. Politics is not business. It's way more than that. Where in business, the top 2 companies can come together and work in harmony, but in politics, there's a line in which they operate and collaborate, because no 2 largest economies are going to work in harmony. Both of them are fighting for the first position, even the China and the United States of America. America was trying to be hard on China for a long time. They have been fighting on tariffs and trade for almost 2 years now, but the line was crossed when US banned Huawei, and there was a bigger reason for banning it in the United States. Huawei was not just making mobile phones, but it was also producing and selling telecom infrastructure setups, which telecom communication industries in America operated with. And the trade war between the United States and China is not just a trade war, it's a technology war too, where both of them are trying and testing hard to operate on 5G network. And with this 5G network, there could be a revolutionary change in the technology industry. If you talk about data development, database management, self-driving cars, super fast data downloading, which would help self-driving cars to read the maps properly, flying cars, satellite television monitoring, and many more things. And all this would just be through the 5G networks, which Huawei was trying to set up already in the United States. And if it was still operating in the United States, and luckily, if China could launch the 5G network before the United States, then they would have full control over America. And Donald Trump also said that he doesn't want any company from any other country to dominate in the American market, which Huawei was already planning to do. And the prices at which it provided the telecom setups was really cheap. And it's because Huawei was heavily subsidized by the Chinese government. And also, in the law of their business environment, there's a statement which says any organization or citizen shall support, assist, and cooperate with the state intelligence work. Which means if Huawei would have dominated the US market with its telecom setup infrastructure and would have collected the data from the citizens and the companies operating with their network providers, then the data collected by them would directly go to Huawei, which eventually goes to Chinese intelligence department, who could then track you anytime, anywhere. So if that's China's plan, or there is something even bigger than that, because of which Chinese government was putting so much money on Huawei, well, we don't know that yet. And that's why 5G is going to be the market changer for a lot of industries and also for the government, because with this network, any government can keep an eye on its competitors and other countries' politics, which is very dangerous. So that's why Trump wanted Huawei to not operate in the United States. And now he also wants to delist all the Chinese companies from American stock market, which again is a direct war call to China. And now the trade war has just turned to a cold war rather than just being a trade war. And now it's Cold War 2.0. And the phase 1 deal, which was signed around in January and December of 2019 and 2020, China now wants a renegotiation on the deal, and Trump is just ignoring it. And Trump has also threatened China that if the purchase mentioned in the deal are not committed, then he would terminate the deal. And some extra data to back my point that China will overtake the United States as the number 1 economy. If you see the list of world's top 10 largest banks, then the number 1, number 2, number 3 and number 4 places are occupied by Chinese banks, namely the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on number 1 position, China Construction Bank Corporation on number 2 position, Agricultural Bank of China on number 3 and Bank of China on number 4. And not to forget that the number 10th position is also occupied by China Development Bank. That means world's top 10 largest banks have been occupied by top 5 Chinese banks, which is very dangerous for America and other economies. I'll reveal in a few minutes that how they are using their position here, but let me give you some more data. Even the world's top 10 most valuable startups, the first 2 positions are the Chinese startup, which are ByteDance and Didi Chuxing, and also the 6th and the 9th position are also occupied by the Chinese. Even in the Fortune 500 companies, almost 170 companies are Chinese companies, which means just in years they have almost taken the majority of the market. And now the bank part. The Chinese strategy used by the Chinese banks is called as debt trap. Now what is debt trap? It's a term which is used when the loan period is terminated and the person or the company is not able to pay the loan back. But here the Chinese uses it for the ancient countries, not just for the companies but for the countries. China gives huge loans to countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and many islands on the ancient side like Maldives and Lakshadweep, and also knows that they can't repay the loan. So in return, it takes over the places and then sends his Chinese people on that land, thereby also reducing the density of population and also starting business operations on that place which are occupied. Like for recent case, China gave some loan to Sri Lanka to build port on their country for export purposes, and with that loans, the contract for the building the port in Sri Lanka was also given to the Chinese company, which was a win-win for China. And then when due to low to almost no exports done from Sri Lankan part, they couldn't repay the loan, and then China took over the ports and is now exporting trillions of dollars of worth products from there. Pretty smart, huh? And that's how China has played well in coronavirus, where China knew that every economy will go down due to this pandemic outbreak, and they started to investing in other countries' businesses and acquire many business from around the world, which will obviously give a rise to their economy. And we can see that clearly in this pandemic outbreak. And even India has updated its policy of foreign direct investment so that if any Chinese government or if any Chinese company wants to invest in India, has to talk to the Indian government first and then can invest in the company. And also through a report from KPMG, China will become the world's largest economy, overtaking United States. And you know where United States is in this list? Number 3. After China and India. Yes, India. And I'll tell you why. America is trying to stop working and closing barriers with China and wants its businesses to shift from China to somewhere else. And you know where they'll have to shift these businesses? Yes, you guessed it right. It's India, because of its cheap labor and also some skilled labor too. Well, to be precise, most of them would turn to India and others would turn to some other ancient country, because there are many underdeveloped countries to look like Indonesia, Turkey, Japan, and according to the reports from KPMG, Indonesia and Turkey will be the 4th and 5th largest economy, and the other 5 countries would be Brazil, Egypt, Russia, Japan, and Germany. This could be true. As I said, they'll have to shift to India, which will bring opportunities for India to grow. And well, India is growing quite silently and fast. So that's not surprising that India will become the world's 2nd largest economy. So if all of this is true, that China investing in major countries where the market and economy is down, using its debt trap strategy to take over many countries, giving the opportunity for its business to work on that taken down lands, then I think it's definitely sure they'll take a leap over America. And China was the first one to overcome from this pandemic outbreak, and its economy has already started reviving itself. There's no doubt that people who are expert in this matter would think all this was pre-planned. Well, actually it was pre-planned, because this is a very big game, a master plan from China. So now, I have talked about the trade war, even the Cold War and the tech war. Now, let me introduce you to a whole new one. Too many wars in here, so be safe, man. But first a question. What do you think is the globally accepted payment currency? Yep, you guessed it right. It's the US dollar. And it's of course for many reasons. One of which being that people believe in democracy of American politics and economy, because of which people want to use it more and more for many transactions. But to keep a track on some transactions and also the messages done for financial aid, there are very heavy transactions that are taking place around the globe, some internationally, some domestically, and some of them are also meant for the terrorist organizations and underworld organizations too, because of which someone needs to take track of it, and it's when SWIFT comes into picture. SWIFT is not the thing that you are thinking. It's Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, and it is the largest financial messaging system in the world. It keeps track for all the transactions happening in the world. But you must be thinking why I am telling you this. It's because China wants to operate separately from SWIFT, for which it has pilot tested a digital currency which is called digital yuan payment, just like the Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Facebook's Libra. And it has also given payments to its government employees with digital yuan, which will keep a track on people's spending. And not just keeping a track, but also having a control over people. As I mentioned earlier, that China is controlling its people for spending just little, which it has taken it to a whole another level. For example, if you are a Chinese government employee and they pay you 5,000 yuan, then they can also limit your spend to any amount they want. So if you earn like 5,000 grants of yuan, you can just spend only 1,000 or 2,000 or any X amount which is under 5,000, which is very fearful. Imagine getting paid 1,000 and you can just spend dimes. That's bullshit. And not just control, but with its ownership over Africa, southern Asian countries, and Australia, it can make it a regular use for making payments here and there, which will ensure that digital yuan has almost 50% of population using it, and China itself is 1.3 billion, so it's not a surprising fact too. But if that happens, then this would also cause a war towards American dollar, which is the currency war, which is a nightmare for many. And even I don't want China taking over everything. But you would say that I mentioned people use dollar because people trust it. Yeah, that's true. But unlike other digital currencies like Bitcoin, which is controlled by the Bitcoin users itself, which is why its value fluctuates every time, and Facebook's Libra, which will obviously be controlled by Facebook, but digital yuan, it would be controlled by Chinese central bank, which is why it could be trusted only for its value because it won't fluctuate. And I know it's not trustworthy because if you have made it till here, you won't trust China anymore. But even if China manages to get 50 to 60% of population, or maybe even some more countries to use its digital yuan, then it would eventually become a reserve currency, because then to do business with those countries and that people, you would need digital yuan rather than a digital dollar. So if this digital yuan is successful, then dollar can even lose its place as the reserve currency, and this actually pushes United States to digitalize its dollar, because if US digitalizes its dollar, then it is controlled by the Federal Reserve, then people already trust dollar, so it would be a sudden shift to digital dollar quickly, which will ensure that the US dollar is not taken over by any currency. And if you take a close look, then you must know that China has just declared a war and is ready to dominate it. This is a long-term plan for China, and this also makes sure that Make in China 2025 is successful. America is starting to open its states and has also announced that most of its major league of sports like NBA will be starting by late July. The Economist says that it would take America almost 2 years to recover from this damage, which is in 2022, and by that time China has already played all of its major moves and placing the right strategies in the place, which eventually by the time of 2030 will pay off and turn the country to the world's largest economy. But do you think this will happen? Well, all of it depends upon the United States election and if Trump is re-elected or not. I think he's going to take a direct shot on China and try to save the country from this. But I'm not sure if he's getting re-elected or not, or I don't even know anyone else who can help defending itself from this damage. So whatsoever it is, if China continues doing this and if US is late in reviving from the damage done to its economy, then the United States will have to lose its position from the number one economy. And if you want to conclude this, there's just one thing, and it is that China is on war. A war to take over the whole world and become the dominant player. And if that happens, China is not giving up. It won't provide others the same opportunity that America provides as the number one economy and can even rule the global economy. Well, now it's on you to conclude if this is going to happen or not. But if America does not fight back soon and recover from its damage, then definitely we'll have to see China ruling over everyone else, because it won't rely on anyone. It has its own manufacturing hubs, its own offices, its own export places, and its own businesses that are already dominating in the Fortune 500 and in the most valuable startups list, and also the banks which are dominating in the largest banks of the world. And with the help of its owned countries from debt trap strategy, it will definitely take over the world and bring the global economy to the ancient side, giving opportunity to India to grow as the second largest economy of the world. So with that being said, that's it for our today's episode. If you think whatever I said is true, or even a fraction of it is true, then share it with your entrepreneur friends and let them know it too. Leave a review on Apple Podcast and also subscribe us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify and YouTube. See you in our next episode. Until then, keep listening, keep hustling from Behind the Brains podcast.